All right, today we are diving into what is, quite possibly, the single most important transformation in all of human history. It's an incredible story about how one single change, how we get our food, kicked off a chain reaction that built the very world we're all living in right now. Okay, let's get into it. But first, I've got a question for you. Think about it for a second. Could you actually survive without a grocery store? No, really. No supermarkets, no convenience stores, no takeout. For almost the entirety of human history, that was just normal. That was reality for everyone.
You see, for hundreds of thousands of years, life looked nothing like it does today. Our ancestors were nomadic, always moving, living in these small family groups where everybody kind of did everything. Now compare that to our world. Fixed homes, massive cities, and jobs so specific they would make absolutely no sense to our ancestors. So the big question is, how on earth did we get from there to here?
To really get how radical this revolution was, we have to first understand the world it completely turned upside down. For an almost unimaginable amount of time, humanity lived in a completely different way. As hunter-gatherers, our ancestors were always on the move, following the herds and the seasons. They lived in small, tight-knit family groups, they made tools, they told stories. But what's really amazing is what they didn't have. There were no kings or presidents, no rigid hierarchies, and since labor wasn't specialized, everyone was a jack of all trades, just pitching in to survive.
And this wasn't just some short phase. Let this sink in. For over 95% of the time our species, Homo sapiens, has been on this planet, this was the only way of life. That incredible long-term stability is exactly what makes what happened next so shocking.
And then, bam, everything changed. In what amounts to a geological blink of an eye, our entire species took a hard right turn onto a brand new path. A great disruption that would alter the planet forever. This timeline really puts it all into perspective, doesn't it? Look at that long bar. That's hundreds of thousands of years of hunting and gathering. Then you see that tiny, tiny little sliver at the very end. That's agriculture. That's our entire modern world. It just shows you how recent and how unbelievably fast this whole thing happened. So this dramatic shift, it has a name, the Neolithic Revolution. At its heart, the idea is really simple. It's the moment we stopped chasing our food and started growing it in one place. And the whole thing kicked off about 12,000 years ago in a region we now call the Fertile Crescent, right in the Middle East.
So, why then? Why, after 300,000 years, did we suddenly switch things up? Well, a big part of the answer is the environment. The last ice age came to an end, and the climate got warmer and wetter. This created this incredible abundance of wild grains and animals, which meant human populations started to grow and grow. Eventually, they got too big to be supported by hunting and gathering alone. And this, right here, is where the story just explodes. That simple act of planting a seed set off a massive chain reaction, a cascade of consequences that no one could have seen coming and that would transform every single aspect of human society. And when I say everything, I mean everything. Your job, the house you live in, the government you live under, even the diseases you're likely to get, you can trace the roots of all of it right back to this moment. But here's the catch. Farming was a package deal. It was a massive trade-off. On the one hand, it led to huge population booms, amazing new technologies, a division of labor that allowed for things like art and writing. But the flip side was pretty rough. Living close together with animals meant new diseases. Our diets, believe it or not, often got worse. And for the first time, we start to see deep divisions in society, class and gender inequality, and powerful political hierarchies. All of these changes, the good and the bad, were paving the way for something totally new. Because once you have a surplus of food and people are staying in one place, you can start to build. You can create permanent settlements. And as this quote puts it, those settlements, cities, are the absolute foundation of what we call civilization. So what even is a civilization? Well, it's not just one thing. It's a whole collection of features that all spring directly from agriculture. Large cities, incredible architecture, specialized jobs. People becoming potters, priests, soldiers, and of course the big one, dividing people up into different social and economic classes. This all brings us to our final section, the ultimate result of the Neolithic Revolution. We're talking about the invention of the city, which literally became the blueprint for the entire modern world. And this isn't just some abstract idea. We have the proof. Archaeologists have uncovered sites like Çatalhöyük in what's now Turkey.
It's this massive proto-city that was thriving almost 10,000 years ago, right at the dawn of this new agricultural age. It's like a real-world snapshot of this transformation as it was happening.
And what we see at these sites is a pattern, a kind of blueprint that got repeated all over the world. Step 1. People settle down. Step 2. Soon, not everyone needs to be a farmer, which leads to specialized labor. Step 3. With more people and more stuff, you need rules and leaders to administer everything. Step 4. This creates social and economic classes. And finally, Step 5. You need a way to keep track of it all, which gives birth to things like writing.
And we can see exactly where this blueprint was first used. It wasn't random at all. The first great civilizations, they all popped up independently in the same kind of environment. Fertile river valleys, where farming was the easiest and you could grow the most food. We're talking about places like the Nile in Egypt, the Tigris and Euphrates in Iraq, the Indus River Valley, and the Huanghe in China.
So this is where we land. The Neolithic Revolution gave us almost everything we consider modern life. Our cities, our technology, our arc. But all that progress came with a pretty heavy price tag: disease, inequality, war. It created our world with all of its incredible wonders and all of its deep-seated problems. Which leaves us with one final massive question to think about. Was it worth it?